Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Appreciating Theatre and Drama. We have almost completed the history of drama, where we have seen different types of dramas or theatres. Now we are starting one act plays. We have two one act plays. One is the bear, and the second one is the zoo. So we will start off with the bear, which is written by Anton Chakov. So first we will start with the playwright Anton Chakov and his biography. Anton Chakov was a Russian playwright and short story writer who was famous for his masterful short stories and lyrical dreams. So he was mostly known for his plays or dramas and also short stories, which were more of lyrical or musical dreams. Anton Chakov was born on January 17, 1860 in Taganrog, located south in Russia. He is the third of 6 children. As Anton Chakov grew up, he attended secondary school in Taganrog, and in 1879 he enrolled in the School of Medicine at the University of Moscow. So he planned to become a doctor, so he got himself admission in the School of Medicine. 6 years later, he graduated. While in university, Anton Chakov unfortunately got tuberculosis. So as he was studying in the university, he got TB. Besides, he had to earn money to pay his way through college and support his family. So he had to work in order to earn, not only to support himself but also his family. So he had a very hard life. Chakov made a living by writing stories, short sketches or jokes to journals or papers. So he started writing short stories, then sketches, jokes and all that to journals and newspapers. Later, a writer called Dmitry Grigorovich found his talent in writing and helped him improve the quality of his stories. So a man called Dmitry Grigorovich discovered his talent in writing and tried to help him improve the quality. As a result, Chakov's reputation began to grow. So with the support of his mentor, his fame began to spread far and wide. In 1890, Chakov made a trip to the prison island of Sakhalin, which is in the Far East. After his return to Russia, Chakov was devoted to the relief work during the 1892 famine. So after visiting the prison and returning to Russia, he got himself engaged in relief work during the famine. Then he bought a small estate at Melikovo and moved there with his family. While living there, Chakov created some of his best known works. So it was during this time, in 1892 onwards, only after that he started writing some of the best stories and works. In addition to that, he produced 2 of his major plays, The Seagull and Uncle Vanya. In 1898, the newly formed Moscow Art Theatre successfully put The Seagull on the stage. So his major plays were The Seagull and Uncle Vanya, and The Seagull was staged in 1898. Thanks to the success, the theatre also began to establish its reputation. So there was a kind of mutual help between the theatre and himself. So his play became successful along with the theatre. He died on July 2, 1904 at Baden-Württemberg, Germany. So that is about his biography. Now we are going to see the characters of this play. Smirnov His full name is Grigory Stephanovich Smirnov. He is the main character of the play. He is a creditor who comes to Popova's house to take back his loan that her husband had taken from him. So the main character is a money lender who is lending money and collecting money back with interest, of course. So here Smirnov is coming to Popova, the female character or heroine in this story and play. So this Smirnov had lent money to Popova's husband who is no more. So he is coming to collect the money from Popova. Popova's husband had borrowed 1,200 rubles for buying fodder for his horses. But Popova refuses to return her husband's loan, saying her steward is out of the city. So Popova is not in a mood to repay that money that was given by Popova to her husband. Next female character is Popova. Her full name is Elena Ivanova Popova. Is the heroine of the play. She is a beautiful woman but a widow because her husband had died 7 months ago. She stopped meeting people after her husband's demise. When Smirnov comes to her house to take back his credit, she refuses to meet him. So after the death of her husband, she is in mourning, means after death of your beloved one, surely you will be grieving for some time. So she doesn't like to meet anyone. She would like to be alone. She pretends that she loves her husband much and is loyal to him. Her servant compels her to come out of this situation and meet people, but she refuses him. So she is going to the extreme of not meeting people outside, in spite of her servant coming and forcing her to go out and all that and meet people. Smirnov demands his money, but she is not ready to give him the money. Yes. Next minor character is Luka. He is the servant of Popova. He is an expert. When Popova weeps for her husband, he consoles her and motivates her to meet people. So he is the one who is managing the house, like a steward, almost like a manager. He advises her to leave the mourning and participate in the activities of life. So he tells her, you can't go on mourning the death of your husband for the rest of your life. You have to come out of it and behave like a normal person. In the end, he is shocked when he sees Popova in Smirnova's arms. So towards the end of the play, you find the servant is shocked. We will see later how it happens and all that. And another character is Nikolai Mahalovic, who is Popova's husband, who is no more. So we don't actually meet this person. He is on stage, not on stage. When the play starts, we come to know that he had died 7 months ago. He is shown unfaithful and cheating on his wife. So he is a very bad husband. He was not faithful to her. When he was alive, he had many girlfriends and illicit relations with women. So he was a womanizer. He wrote letters to women and deceived his wife. Yes. Now I would like to suggest that you go through the play once, because we will not have time to go through the play word by word and explain and all that. It is a relatively simple language, so you can easily understand the play. So I will be giving you only the summary of this play and also the analysis of it. So here we have mainly two characters, Popova, the heroine, and Smirnov, the so-called hero. Anton Chakov's classic play, The Bear, revolves around two protagonists. They are Popova and Grigory Stephanovich Smirnov. His short name is Smirnov. By the way, this Anton Chakov we have already seen in realism, in the theatre of realism. So he was known as a Russian realist. So Popova is a widow because her husband had died 7 months ago, but she is still mourning. She has decided to cut off herself from the outside world. She doesn't want to meet anybody. She has strictly ordered the servant Luka not to allow anybody to see her. Luka is an old and faithful servant of Popova. So he is the one who is advising her, helping her and all that. He dislikes the mourning condition of his mistress. So according to Luka, you should not go on mourning for a long time. You should come out of it. He advises his mistress that she should not shut herself in the four walls. So this servant Luka tells her to stop mourning for the husband. That is enough. You have had enough. Now it is time to go out and see the world and lead a normal life. But he says, it isn't right, madam. You are just destroying yourself. So these are the words of Luka, the servant. He's telling, by going on mourning and not stopping it, you are actually ruining yourself, ruining your life. He tells Popova to change her decision of mourning throughout her life. She declares her determination not to forget her husband till she breathes her last. So Popova wants to mourn the death of her husband till the end of her life. That means she doesn't like to go out, she doesn't like to socialize with people and all that. She says, I shall never go out. Why should I? My life is already at an end. So she thinks everything has come to an end, her life is all gone. Again she says, I shall be true till death and show him how I can love. So it seems since her husband was unfaithful, she would like to prove that she can remain faithful till her death. Luka quotes his own example and tells her that his wife also had died. So Luka is telling that, you look at me, even my wife also had died, but I am not mourning anymore. He mourned her for a month and that was enough. Yes. He could not grieve for her throughout his life. It is not possible, it is not practical to mourn the death of a near one, with his husband or wife, throughout your life. He advises her to visit the neighborhood and meet the young army officers, as she is still young and can attract many young people. So he is telling her that she has a life ahead of her. She is very young. She can meet other attractive men outside and get engaged and get married and live a happy life. But Popova doesn't accept any advice. After some time, Smirnov enters Popova's house. So this is the background of the story. It is at this juncture that our money lender Popova is entering her house, Popova's house. He is a landowner who had lent 1200 rubles to Mr. Nikolai, who was Popova's husband, and he had died, of course. He demands the debt be paid at once because his creditors are searching for him. So now Smirnov is demanding that money paid by him to her husband because he himself is badly in need of money, which has to be paid to his own lenders. Popova tells him that at this moment she has no money as her steward is out of the city. So Popova tells Smirnov that she doesn't have money because the manager is out of the city. She tells him that when her steward comes, she will pay his money. Smirnov insists and makes fun of Popova's mourning. So he is demanding the money immediately, and he also started ridiculing or making fun of her mourning. He refuses to leave her house until she pays the money. So he is telling that I will not go out unless you pay the money. And both Popova and Smirnov are stubborn. They don't like to give up. They are standing on their own propositions. One is telling she will not pay, and Smirnov is telling I will not leave the house unless you pay. Popova tells him that she cannot pay money as she is in a bad state of mind. So she is in a bad mental state, so she cannot pay the money. Smirnov insists that he wants his money at once. Popova requests him not disturb her. Popova calls him coarse bear. Coarse here means rude. So she tells him on his face that he is a rude, uncivilized animal, a bear. Smirnov criticizes all the women and calls them insincere, cruel and vain. So here he is condemning and telling that all the women are insincere, cruel and vain. Vain means just showing off. They are not sincere. Popova calls men cruel and faithful. So she is also retaliating, telling that all men are also cruel and unfaithful. She gives the example of her own late husband who had illegal relations with many women. So now here she is telling about her husband who was unfaithful and had a lot of other women besides her. He was also insincere with Popova. So the husband was also insincere or unfaithful. Smirnov behaves rudely and she tells him that decent people do not behave with women in this rough manner. So when Smirnov is becoming rude, she tells him that decent people don't behave like that, in that rough and tough manner. Popova and Smirnov angrily fight with each other. So this is a kind of verbal duel, fighting with words. Popova challenges Smirnov to a gunfight. So from verbal fight they go to real fight. They are telling, okay, let us fight with guns. So it is Popova who is challenging Smirnov for fighting with gun. So Popova brings out her husband's pistol, but she doesn't know how to shoot. Yes, that is very sad. Smirnov teaches her how to fire with a pistol. So here Smirnov is trying to help her how to shoot with a gun. He is very considerate anyway. Meanwhile, Smirnov falls in love with Popova. Yes, while teaching her how to shoot, they both fall in love. Especially this fellow Smirnov is falling in love. So he suddenly become very romantic. He kneels before her and says, I love you as I have never loved before. I refused 12 women, 9 have refused me, but I never loved one of them as I love you. So he started pleading and falling before her, kneeling down and all that, telling her that he had never loved any other woman like her. Though other 12 women had proposed to her, but he never accepted her, he refused them. He also says, I am in love like a student. I have been on my knees. I want to fall in love with you. So this man is becoming very desperate and begging her for her love. Initially Popova refuses him, but later when he describes his property and wealth, she accepts his proposal for marriage. Yes. So initially in the beginning she says, no way, I cannot love you, I cannot accept your love and all that. But later when she comes to know that this fellow has a lot of money, lot of wealth, property and all that, then of course she accepts the proposal for marriage. When the servants of Popova arrive to beat Smirnov, they are amused and surprised to see that Popova and Smirnov are embracing each other. So here there is a last scene where you find after the fighting and all that, they both fall in love and Smirnov is embracing her, and it is at this time that the servants are coming to beat him up. So they are also very shocked, surprised and amused. The play comes to a dramatic end. At the end of the play, Popova orders Luka, tell them in the stables that Toby isn't to have any odds at all today. So when the servants come to beat Smirnov, she is ordering them to go and tell the people at the stable where the horses are that not to give fodder or food for Toby. Toby is the name of the horse. So this sentence shows that Popova has completely forgotten her late husband and she has accepted Smirnov as her husband. So within no time you find a kind of change, sudden change happening in this woman. She has forgotten the mourning, she forgot her husband, everything, and then completely falling in love with this money lender called Smirnov. So these are some of the pics from that drama, The Bear. You find here Smirnov is teaching Popova how to shoot. Here you find Luka is standing there with a stick to beat him and finds them in a romantic mood. So with that we have come to the end of this one act play. Until we come up with another one act play, it is goodbye. Thank you.